Living like Jesus has to start with knowing Jesus, not just knowing what he did in the Bible and that, but knowing him personally.
It's not about whether or not I can be perfect. It's not about whether I can strive to be a deity. That's not what it's about at all. So living like Jesus for me is when I look at the life of Christ and the things that he did, it's this major emphasis on that God loves people and people matter.
Seeing them as God sees them, as a loved created being that he wants to be in relationship with.
Here in Rolliston, going to the cafe and just talking to people. Going to our family store where we get 200 plus people indoors every day. That's a hub for community. So we go where the community is, we go where the people are. We make sure we're readily available. You just be Christ in your workplace or in your school. That you represent Christ and you carry Christ wherever you are.
One of our core people is also our family store manager. So we encourage her in her role that what she does is ministry. The relationships she's building with the volunteers and those who come into the store, that is part of her job and her work. And she's created this amazing culture at the store where people feel welcome and accepted, and it's become its own little family. And that's bringing Jesus to the community. And so just showing people, encouraging people that where they are, they're bringing Jesus because they know Jesus.
We emphasize finding people where you're already doing stuff you enjoy doing. Say you're already somewhere, so just invest in those people. Jesus was Jesus no matter where he went.
Yes.
He didn't wait till he went to church. What would happen if instead of building church buildings where the people of God come, we just were the people of God everywhere? And what if every house was a church? What if, what's church? Church is where we recognize and worship God and commune with others. We'd realize, if he's not limited to a building or a program, then he's not limited to anywhere. Our job isn't to decide who's good and who's bad. Jesus was a good example of that. He went to the people that were unclean. The whole time he just went, look, you guys decide this person's bad. I'll take them. You choose the hard that you accept. You either have the hard of how do we control the volume of the drum set on a Sunday morning because people are complaining. That's a hard thing. That's a difficult thing. And every officer knows what I'm talking about. Or we choose the hard of the people that we love are having a hard time in their marriage. And we can only put energy into so many things. So we choose this hard. If you're choosing petty difficult, yeah, it's difficult, it's stressful, it's hard, you're gonna hate it. But if you just choose to carry the burdens of the people that you're set in amongst, that's the same hard, it's the same stress, but it's much more like Christ. I think the best thing anyone can do is remind themselves that people aren't emails, people aren't Facebook statuses, people aren't phones, people are people, and Jesus strives for the rehumanization of societies. If I have an issue with someone, then all right, we're having them for dinner, and we're not going to talk about the issue. We're going to talk about their life. We're going to talk about what they're going through. And 99 times out of 100, we realize that the issue is not an issue. It's that they're having a hard time. It's that they haven't slept all week. Grace and mercy is easy when we realize people have a name and a story. And it's the golden rule of treat others the way you want to be treated. So I really have a hard time seeing the downsides of pursuing a Christ-like life. Relationships with people are better. Relationships with the rest of the army as a structure is better. The stresses that I carry are less because you get a different perspective. And people are great. People are good, especially once you get past the politics and the petty issues and you get into real life, and people are awesome. So, yeah.